Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary on Rugby Road, and to all who are joining us online via Zoom. As we come together for worship, we begin with the musical prelude offered by our Director of Music, Scott DeVoe. Wow, that's a lot of peppers. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Tim Temerson, and I'm delighted that you are joining us here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. This sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on land that was once the homeland of the Monacan people and that was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa. We honor all who dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering as a community of memory and hope. I invite you now to take a moment to greet others who are with us in worship this morning. Those of you on Zoom can unmute and say hello to one another, and those of you in the building, you are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hi, folks. Howdy, folks.
Welcome, Karen.
People in the social hall.
And we will all mute again.
It is so good to be together this morning. We welcome those of you who are new to our congregation, invite you to join us for fellowship in the social hall after the service. You are invited to use one of our red coffee mugs, which are for newcomers to our congregation. We continue to ask everyone in the sanctuary and throughout our building to keep your high quality N95 or KN95 mask in place, covering both your nose and mouth. If you don't have a face mask, we are happy to get one for you. When you are in the social hall and in the social hall only, you may remove your mask while actively eating and drinking. We do ask if you're in the social hall but not actively eating and drinking to keep your masks in place. We see the continued wearing of face masks while indoors as an act of kindness that keeps everyone, especially those most at risk, as safe as possible while we continue to navigate life during the ongoing pandemic and flu season. and hand sanitizer is also around the sanctuary if you need it. In addition to seating in our sanctuary, there is seating in the social hall where you can watch a live stream of the service. Families with young children are most welcome here in the sanctuary, but if you need a roomier space, the social hall can be a good option. Please do whatever you need to feel comfortable as we worship together. And you'll also notice, for those of you here in the sanctuary, that there are bags at the end of the pews. These bags contain greeting cards, which will go into the meal packets that we will make this morning. So please feel free to pass the cards around, and you can start working on them and writing wonderful greeting messages during the service. Many thanks to all of the folks helping us share worship both here and online. Our on-site greeters, ushers, and hospitality and logistics team. Special thanks to our AV team, the dynamic duo of Sean and Rachel, supporting our dual platform worship both online and here on Rugby Road. Thanks to Scott DeVoe and to the choir who will be sharing their musical gifts with us today. And I am pleased to be leading this morning's service with Reverend Leah. Now here to greet you from your Board of Trustees is Haley Owens. Haley? Oh, is it on?
Are we on?
Whoa.
We are on. Oh my gosh. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Haley Owens. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees, and I'm so happy to welcome you today. This Sunday feels especially to me like a celebration of community. It's been a hard week in Charlottesville, and community can help you feel loved and held in dark times. And we feel immense love for each other as individuals, but also this collective. And especially today, the power of action together as opposed to what we can do alone. So I really am feeling community today. I always like to prepare something, but I'm going to keep it really brief and just say that we've been working as a board to think about developmental goals, always holding the love and respect for what this community is already doing and thinking about how that shows up in our future. And for me, the greatest joy surely is the path of getting to know yourself more truly and fully. And so I'm hoping that as we engage together in these developmental goals in the coming months and year, that we will be on that journey of joy. So welcome to everybody, and thanks for allowing me to share with you.
Thank you, Haley. Wonderful, wonderful words this morning. I have several announcements. We are continuing to shelter the men and women of Pacham through December 3rd, right over in our Summit House. If you can help with providing part of the food for meals or with serving or cleanup, please sign up at the link on our church webpage. Our congregation will also be hosting a Thanksgiving meal open to our Pacham guests and everyone in our congregation this Thursday, November 24th at 5:30 p.m. in our social hall. If you would like to attend, please RSVP at pacham@uucharlottesville.org. And again, all are welcome. Now today, it's a busy day here at the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. Right after worship, two important things are happening. Anyone who would like is invited to stay in the sanctuary after the service and choose from the fresh food items on the chancel to take home as part of your Thanksgiving feast. We are also having a soup lunch followed by a leaf raking extravaganza. UUs of all ages are welcome to join us for soup and raking fun. You can eat the soup first and then rake. You don't have to do both at the same time. And now, friends, let us center ourselves for worship.
Our call to worship this morning comes from Ian Riddle. Come, come, whoever you are. Do you hear that voice calling us, calling you? That voice which calls us together here today, in this room, made holy by our presence and by the sacred breath we share in our singing and speaking and silence. That voice which calls us to remember that we are not alone and that we are inextricably linked to all other life, woven into a vast tapestry of existence of which we are a powerful, integral, and holy part. And just as we have been called together here today, we act as the voice, the heart, the hands of another call, the call to walk with the wanderers, sing and dance with the worshipers, proclaim the memory of those who have taken their leave, wrap the despairing and the broken in the arms of love and community, and hold the hands of all of us who have broken our vows and call us back again and again to the covenant and work of justice, humility, and steadfast faithfulness. For this, we are here together today. So my friends, come yet again. Come, let us worship together.
I'd now like to invite Karen Fairchild and Caroline Lund to come forward up to the chancel and up to our altar table and light our flaming chalice. Welcome, Carol and Caroline. Please go ahead. And Rachel, can you put the words of the unison chalice lighting on the screen? We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. Now can we do our hand motions? We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church, the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Thank you. Thank you. And now, friends, I'd like to invite you to rise in body and spirit, and join in singing our opening hymn, which is We Give Thanks. It's number 1010 in the teal hymnal, but the lyrics will also be on the screen. This one's kind of short, so we're actually going to sing it 3 times. So please rise.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is so good to be together today. It is good to be together as one big multi-generational community, both here in our sanctuary and also in the Zoom room.
Reverend Leah, I am particularly excited to be here on this Sunday before Thanksgiving and to participate in the making of the hospital meal packets, because this is new to me. I've heard about them, but I've never made one before.
Well, the children and I will be glad to teach you and anyone else who is new to making meal packets. The children and youth of our congregation have made thousands of meal packets over the last 13 years with the help of Margaret Gorman. Yes, definitely. Margaret couldn't be here with us this morning, but she and I were here on Friday setting all of this up so it would be ready for us today. And I've been thinking about this season of gratitude that we're in and thinking about what I'm thankful for. And I'm curious, Reverend Tim, what does it mean to you to be thankful? And what's one thing that you're thankful for?
Well, Reverend Leah, those are great questions and great questions to reflect on any time of year and to ask other people about. Thinking about this together helps us learn more about what matters most and what we each hold in our hearts. To me, thankful means, just recognizing and feeling in my heart all that I have, all the gifts that I have been given in my life by so many wonderful people. And one thing I'm thankful for, I'm actually going to say two, is my wonderful, wonderful family and this wonderful community, the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. And so Leah, what do you think it means to be thankful? And what's one thing you are grateful for these days?
Well, to me, being thankful is about appreciating the big and the little things around me that support me and my well-being, and those things that support the well-being of others. There are so many things that I am grateful for. It's really hard to choose just one. But I woke up this morning, and when I heard the news today, I realized that what I'm really thankful for is love, sustaining love, love that holds me, that holds us when we're feeling sad. And there's been a lot to feel sad about recently. And I'm wondering, and I know you're wondering as well, Tim, what the people here and the people on Zoom, what you all are feeling thankful for today. Anybody want to just shout out what you're feeling thankful for? So Barbara says, the love that's in this world today, she said it's hard to find it sometimes, but it's there. Yeah, Barbara. Being hopeful again, yeah. Old friends and new friends. I see, is there a hand in the back? Thankful for the earth, yes. Yeah. Community and family. Your dogs. Yeah. Electricity and hot water. Amen. Yeah, Kasha. Your dogs and your husband. Yeah. Sean or Rachel, has anybody on Zoom mentioned anything they're thankful for? Grateful for Zoom service, yes. Grateful for the time to sit with sun on your face, even when it's so cold. Yeah. Anybody else? Those are all wonderful things to be grateful for and things that I know we all can relate to feeling gratitude as well. There's just a lot of gratitude in and among and around us this morning.
There sure is. And as we think about this season of gratitude and all the things we are grateful for, it is good to think about what we each might do with this abundance of gratitude we are feeling today.
Yeah, like maybe how to pay it forward? Maybe spread more kindness into the world?
Exactly, Reverend Leah. How our feelings of gratitude, no matter how big or small, might inspire us to action. How we can embody our thanks by using the energy of gratitude to spread more love and hope into the world.
Amen. Kind of like these hospital meal packets that we're going to make together today, knowing that our work together in community is what will give comfort and nourishment to those who might otherwise be hungry and feel alone. It might make them feel a little less alone.
Yes, sharing what we have, whether it is a smile, a listening ear, or another source of support or kindness. We can offer each other refuge. Our embodied gratitude and thanks can go a long way to help heal each other and our hurting world.
Yes.
In fact, I think the choir wants to sing to us about this right now. So welcome. much. Thank you, choir and Scott. It was a wonderful anthem, beautiful to listen to and with a powerful, powerful message. I love that word saranam, which means refuge. The refuge is something that helps us feel safe and at peace. And I know the many things I'm thankful for always help me feel refuge. Speaking of being thankful and having a place of refuge, Reverend Leah and I would now like to share a story with you called The Thanksgiving Door. The story talks about two families that both have Thanksgiving traditions. For one, their tradition has to change because something unexpected happens. But that change then makes it possible for another family to share their tradition, which allows them to offer refuge and welcome to others. So let's now watch the story and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Thanksgiving Day, Ed and Anne were home alone. And then, oh no, Anne burned the dinner. Anne felt plain awful because she had ruined Thanksgiving. She decided that she had to iron clothes, but Ed was hungry. Let's go see if that new restaurant down the street is open, Ed said. Oh, all right, said Anne, but it won't be the same. The door to the New World Cafe was open. Hooray, said Ed. He quickly hung up their coats and said, Is this a Thanksgiving table decoration? This looks like a pilgrim and an Indian, but who is the dancing man with the beard? Oh, I'm not sure that we should be here, Ed. Nonsense, replied Ed. Their door was open. Many unhappy eyes peered through the kitchen door. This is horrible, Leon whispered. Who left the front door open? We can't have customers today. Our party will be ruined. Let's get rid of them, said Tatiana. I'll bang these pots together. The noise will scare them away. Grandmother had heard all that she could bear. She dropped her peeled potato into the pot and said, Enough! In old country, we bang pots at wolves, not hungry people. Today is Thanksgiving Day. Family cooks turkey big as a doghouse, but we don't share? Bah! She shook her head. Grandmother is right, said Olga. Go get some chairs. Olga showed Anne and Ed to the best seats at the table. Aunt Sophia brought 2 more table settings. Grandmother said, Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome, welcome. We are glad that you are here. And that's how Anne and Ed found themselves guests of honor as this family celebrated their first Thanksgiving in the New World Cafe. After dinner, Ed asked for a check, but everyone pretended not to understand. No, no, no. We dance now. Please stay. Anne and Ed had never heard of a family dancing on Thanksgiving, but they were having such a good time. They just said yes. Ed followed the men upstairs to help move tables out of the way. Anne stayed with the women and got to hold a new baby, Sonia. Uncle Carl struck up the band, and the young dancers got things started. Soon, everyone joined in. Even Ed, who had never danced a lick in his life, kicked up his heels. Anne loved to dance. She knew all the steps. She taught everyone the conga. In no time at all, they were dancing in one huge conga line. What a hit! It was really late when Anne and Ed said their goodbyes. Grandmother gave Anne a table decoration. Papa and Ed traded hats. Anne gave her telephone number to Sonia's mother in case she ever needed a babysitter. They all said, Thank you for making this such a very special Thanksgiving. When it was time to lock up the cafe, Papa could not get the front door to close. When he looked down, he found a raw potato jammed under the door. How did that silly thing get there? He asked. In old country, Thanksgiving doors like Happy Heart opened up big and wide. Potato good for that, Grandmother said. You're right, was all Papa said. When they got home, Anne lit the candle from the cafe and made tea. What are you most thankful for on this wonderful Thanksgiving? She asked. Ed thought. Many things crossed his mind, but what was he most thankful for? Well, he said, I guess I'd have to say, my dear, that I'm most thankful that you burned our dinner. Oh, Ed, she said. Me too. That was the
Nice story that is. There was so much I like about it. I like how when Ed and Ann can't follow their tradition and eat their Thanksgiving dinner because it gets burned, they go to a restaurant owned by a family that leaves their door open just a little bit so other people can feel welcome to share in the meal.
Yes, sharing a holiday meal is a wonderful tradition, Reverend Tim. And another thing that makes this tradition so wonderful is that the family in our story doesn't keep their holiday meal to themselves. Their tradition is about being open, literally keeping their door open to be ready to share with others. But you know, I also really like that the story talks about how traditions sometimes have to change. Think about what happens to Anne and Ed. Their tradition to eat Thanksgiving dinner at home, just the two of them, has to change because the dinner gets burned. So they have to make a change.
That's a really good point about how sometimes things happen and we have to change. That was certainly true about what happened to their dinner. By the way, Reverend Leah, one thing I wish the author had done in telling the story was to say that Ed and Anne had both burned the Thanksgiving dinner, not just Anne. I mean, she was super busy and Ed should have been helping with the meal and watching the food so that it didn't burn.
You are right, Reverend Tim. It sure would have been great if Ed had been helping with the dinner. But it does seem like he wasn't, and Anne and Ed had to deal with a pretty big change in their plans. And as you know, Reverend Tim, the change they experienced reminds me of all the changes the world and our congregation have had to deal with over the last couple of years. For a long time, we had to meet online for worship, or only outside instead of here in our sanctuary. When we came into our building, we've needed to keep wearing masks in order to keep everyone as safe as possible. We've even had to change the way we celebrate this Thanksgiving service together. We used to have our bread communion here in the sanctuary, with everyone coming forward to pick out the bread they wanted to eat during our ritual. But now we've had to change. So that instead today we're going to make meal packets together during the service, and we're going to break bread together afterwards in the social hall.
And yet, Reverend Leah, as much as we've had to change those traditions and values that make us who we are, like making meal packets, offering welcome and food to each other and to our guests from Pacham, they are still part of us and we are still sharing them. And that's what I really love about this story. The family that owns the restaurant came to this country from somewhere else. I'm guessing they are probably looking for some kind of refuge, like the choir anthem talked about. Living in a new place means lots of changes for them, but they also brought their most important traditions from the old country with them, like putting a potato under their front door so that guests and visitors would be welcome to come inside and share a meal.
And look what can happen when we change while still following our most important values and traditions. We make new friends, we help others, and we open ourselves to receiving what others have to share. We have all experienced change over the last few years. And my hope is that we keep changing, we keep finding new ways to share our gratitude with others, and then we keep helping, caring, and serving.
You are so right, Reverend Leah, and I hope the exact same thing. I hope we will always follow the lead of the grandmother in the story by keeping our doors open, by inviting newcomers and those who need us to be part of our community, and by being thankful for all the ways we love and support each other and the world.
Me too. And speaking of helping others, let's make some meal packets together now. So I'm going to explain how we're going to do that. So we're going to start by having helpers who lift the coverings off of these tables. And then you're going to come forward as you're willing and able, and you're going to start at this end of the table. You can go down both sides, so multiple people can be making meal packets at the same time. You're going to start with the clear baggie, and you're going to take one item from each of the containers to put in your meal packet. So you'll start with this table, get one item on each side of the row as you go. You'll go over to this table where Elaine is standing and get the rest of your items. And then you'll come over to the credenza here, and you'll add the note that you've been writing or working on in your pew. And if you don't have a note, that's okay. We'll make sure a note gets added to every packet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to deposit your finished meal packet into one of the bins underneath the membership book there, and we will collect them. And we actually received a call on Saturday from UVA social workers asking us when might we be able to deliver meal packets. They sent a photograph of the empty pantry, and Margaret was able to text back and say, we're making them Sunday, I'll deliver them Tuesday. So the love that you're creating today is going to go right into those bellies and hearts of those who need help and sustenance. If you don't want to make a meal packet and just stay in your pew, that's absolutely fine, because what we're all going to do is we're going to sing together as we make meal packets. So you're invited to stay in your pew and sing along. Scott is going to play the hymn Lean on Me, and we'll all sing it together. And if we're still making meal packets when we're done with all the verses, Scott's just going to play us some beautiful music to finish our meal packet making with. So, are you ready? Yeah. All right, so as the hymn begins, feel free to come forward and start making meal packets. Sometimes in our life, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, and
if we are one, we are there. Always lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Please swallow your pride. If you have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let you lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long, but I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lift on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody carry on right up the road. I'll show you the road. If you just call me, lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean
Thank you, Scott. Thank you all so very much. As I was watching this going on, I had 3 words kept coming to mind: faith in action. So thank you all so much for making all these wonderful meal packets, and I know from what we heard that they will be used and probably used very soon. So thank you all so much for your participation in this morning. So we're now going to move into our time of centering and sharing. Just a quick reminder, which you can probably already tell, that today we will be passing the plates rather than having you come forward. There's a lot going on up here. So the ushers will be passing the plates during the offertory. But before we do that, I'd now like to invite us into a time of prayer and meditation. Gracious Spirit of life, as we come together this Thanksgiving season to remember and celebrate our gifts and our blessings, let us be mindful that there are those who see Thanksgiving in a very different way. We often think at this time of year about the story of the first Thanksgiving, when colonizers from Europe and the Native Americans who lived on the land came together to share a meal of gratitude and friendship. What we usually forget or don't recount is that the first Thanksgiving wasn't really the beginning of friendship, but instead of a conflict that often led to war and so much suffering. War in which the European colonizers took the land that belonged to Native Americans. Every Sunday at the UU congregation of Charlottesville, we remember that this very land, the land we are on right now, once belonged to someone else, the Monacan people. Gracious Spirit of justice and fairness, help us to remember all the Native peoples for whom Thanksgiving is a day of sadness and mourning. And let us ask ourselves how those of us who have benefited so much from what used to belong to others, how we can turn this season of gratitude into a call for justice and action. Amen.
Amen.
We are part of an interdependent web and a community that cares for one another. Part of how we embody this care is by making time to share the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts. And I will now light a candle for these as well as all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken, but deep in our hearts. This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we share our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our monthly social action collection is being taken for the hospital meal packet program. We ask that you give generously this month to support that program. Rachel, can you show us the social action slide for giving? Each week, we invite everyone into the spiritual practice of generosity by giving to the ministries of our congregation. Through your pledges and with the weekly Sunday morning offering, together we build the future of our congregation and our larger community. This is our shared ministry. During the music which follows, you may choose to make your Sunday morning offering by using the text address or going to our website. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will pass the offering plates to receive your financial gifts. And let us dedicate all the many gifts we share with one another by saying, we accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good.
Thank you all for your generosity, and thank you, Scott, for your beautiful gift of music. This morning, we have a bounty of foods around us. Foods to share with others through the hospital meal packet program, fresh fruits, vegetables, and holiday foods to share with members of our own church family. The soup and some of the bread for our lunch today have been lovingly made by members of our own congregation, just for our welcome table today. Following our service, each of us is invited to partake in a shared meal. May the symbolic act of breaking bread together remind each of us that we do indeed have a place at the table. May we be mindful of the kindness and generosity in ourselves and others, and know that we each have gifts with which to bless the world. Let us bless the food in the sanctuary now, the bread, the produce, the meal packets, by saying, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, known by so many names and no name at all, for the gifts of this day, may we be truly grateful. We offer our thanks to the hands that grew and prepared these foods. May those who eat them be nourished and strengthened. And as we enjoy our feasts today and in the future, may we hold tenderly all the feelings, the joys and the sorrows that we carry in our minds and our hearts and souls. And as we eat, let us be aware of the love that surrounds and sustains us. May it strengthen us to do difficult things that we know are the right thing to do. May it comfort us in our times of need. May we live our values boldly and lovingly. For this time together this morning and so much more, we say thank you. Amen, and blessed be. Will you please rise now in body or spirit for our closing hymn, one that reminds each of us of our place in the larger human family as we celebrate with gratitude the planet Earth, our beautiful home. Let us sing together hymn number 1021, Blue Boat Home.
1064.
1064.
Oh, sorry, 1054.
64.
64. It's going to be projected. Just sing along.
Still my pride and heart can say, I
Friends, some words I've adapted from my colleague Mark Bellatini. Go in peace. Live simply, gently, at home on this marvelous blue boat. Act justly, speak justly. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves. And go as you go with gratitude and with love in your hearts. Friends, be well. Take very good care of yourselves, of each other, and of this marvelous blue boat home. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves. Breathe, relax, do some good, and always remember, love one another. Blessed be, and go in peace.